Let's talk about the Dynamic to Top plugin. Now you can see I've got this Dynamic to Top plugin right here activated. It's by Matt Verone, so that's the one that I'm going to show you here. But there are quite a few different types of these plugins, and you can try a few out and see which ones you like. And for those of you who don't know what this is all about, if you come to a web page, and I've got a lot of content down below the fold here, if I start scrolling down, you'll see in the bottom right-hand part of the screen this Back to Top button. And if we scroll all the way down here, we can see all of this great content. Then if I click this Back to Top button, it'll take us right back up to the top. And that is kind of a handy thing to have for sites that are going to have longer pages. Because as you can see, my Buy Now button is right up here above the fold where it should be. And so if you do go down all the way down here, and let's say they've read through this course syllabus and decided they want to purchase this course, well, they've kind of got to scroll all the way back up, and it's kind of a long way to go when in actuality they can just click this button and boom, they're back up to the top and they can click Buy Now. So let's look at the settings for this. So if we go to Dynamic to Top, you'll see here that there is no way to get into the settings. Some of these plugins, like Akismet, you can access the settings right here, but the rest of these plugins, as I'm sure you've seen throughout this course, they sort of install themselves in different spots along your menu on the left side here, and you sort of have to go and look for them. But in this case, this is really an appearance plugin. So if you go to the appearance menu, you'll see To Top. So you'll click on that, and now you can get into all the different options. Scroll time is how fast you're going to move back up to the top of the page. And here it's set as the default is what I left is 1100 milliseconds. So that's actually 1.1 second to go all the way from the bottom to the top. If it's a really short page, that's going to be a slow interval. If it's a really long page, that's going to be actually pretty fast. So you may want to slow that down a little bit. And fade in distance is just how many pixels somebody needs to scroll down before this Back to Top button actually shows up. Then the easing type is actually what to use to scroll the page up, and you've got a few different options here. What you just saw was the in option, and you can actually position this wherever you want. Top left, top right, bottom left, or bottom right. I have this one set as bottom right. And you can actually prevent this on mobile browsers. It's a little bit easier to scroll all the way to the top when you're just flicking your finger versus scrolling with a mouse where you may have to use the wheel or go all the way to the right side of the page and grab the scroll bar and move it up. So mobile and traditional computers are a little bit different that way. Here you can see the actual appearance of the button. And here I've clicked to have the text version, and I said Back to Top here. Here's the button text. And if you uncheck this, what happens is you get a little up arrow. And for a lot of people that makes sense. They click on that, they go back up to the top of the page. But I like to say Back to Top so that people know exactly what's going on. And here you've got some padding, and this is padding for the button itself. So if I were to grab this, you can see the button at the top of the screen there. It gets a little bit bigger. It's just padding between the edges of the button and the text, and you can do that from top and bottom as well. You can change the font size, be a little bit bigger. You can change the text color. You can select a color from the color wheel here, or you can just type in the color code for that text. You can make the text bold. You can give it a shadow. Now you can change the shadow color, background color, border color, and all this goes with the wheel, or you can just type it in here. And you can actually change the size of the border. So if I get the button in the screen here, change the size of the border. Now the border is black and the button is black, so you're not seeing a huge difference, but you can kind of see what you can do here. You can actually change the overall look of that button. And then here you can insert highlighting and shadows. And when you're all done here, you just click Save Changes. And now you've got a nice button to bring somebody back up to the top.